Hello, finally back with a brand new episode of Who. Okay guys, so we left things off with a new champion in DDP, because that was definitely in the works and needed to be done. Slammboree is upon us. We've just entered a new phase. And Pyschosis is our Cruiserweight champion. Let's kick things off with him. He's taking on Lenny Lane. And he goes over. It's a pretty good match. He's just the challenger of the month. There's no real backstory behind this one. Bam Bigalow is defending his TV title. And it's against Brian Knobbs. It's another one of those... Probably weapons wouldn't be used. But... it'd be a very rough, brawling kind of match, and Bam Bam would go over, of course, because I want to keep the belt on him. Tag titles, the Horseman, Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko, taking on Raven and Perry Saturn. Now, during this match, Raven's doing a lot of work. He's being Raven. He's not really tagging in Saturn, and every time he's about to get the tag to Saturn, something happens. Now, eventually he does get the tag, because I love this spot. He gets the tag in. Raven's like in the corner. He's like, he's been beaten and beaten to a bloody pulp. Well, not to a bloody pulp, but he's beaten down. He's like, in the corner. Saturn turns around, wham, kicking his butt, tosses Raven on the outside, gets him up onto the apron, tags him back in, throws him in, and as he does this, Benoit gets the pin on him and takes him back in. Benoit does the crossface, and Raven taps out. And Benoit and Malenko look at him like, what the heck are you doing, you know? And then he does this. And it's revealed the next episode of Nitro that that spot that originally was going to be Curt Hennig's spot in the Horseman is now Saturn's spot. He's the new enforcer of the Four Horsemen. So yeah, and I think Saturn would have done a good job, but it's not gonna last that long. US title, Booker T versus Chris Kanyon. Booker T just goes over. It's straight through match, no interference, no shady tactics. It's all really clean. He goes over. Booker T goes over clean. This is just a quick match. Curt Hennig versus Rick Steiner. It's no real, nothing really much going on here. You might throw in a story there. I don't know what. I just threw this match together. But yeah. We're down to the last few members of the Wolfpack. It's Sting, Goldberg, and Roddy Piper against Scott Hall, Scott Steiner, and Buff Bagwell. And of course, Goldberg smash takes out Scott Hall again. DDP versus Kevin Nash for the title. DDP goes over again. What do we got here? Yeah, okay. Now we're on to the Great American Bash. Alright, here we go. Cruiserweight title. Pyschosis versus Rey Mysterio versus Billy Kidman versus Juventud Guerrera. Ray goes over. Street fight. Bam Bigalow versus Hack, aka Sandman, and Bam goes over. That's a street fight, so there's weapons allowed to be used in that. I think. Sorry, it's really hot in here, so I have to turn the fan back on. It's going to be on low. Yeah. And he goes, okay. Four Horsemen. Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko taking on the First Family, who had just recently been refounded with Hugh Morris and Brian Knobbs, with Jimmy Hart as the manager. Benoit and Malenko go over, because I'm really starting to build this up as like the tag team to beat. Like during Nitros and that, they would be occasionally like taking on like one of these members, like having a what they would call a captain's match, but also the other two would fight each other like on the Thunder or something as well, to build up to this. It would be like these guys are the anointed next contenders, so they're taking him on, and maybe each guy would face one another, but in singles, and like yeah, that's what you would do. Raven's Rules match. Raven's pissed that Saturn turned on him, but he's not making a big deal of it. He's like, Saturn, you were my best friend and you betrayed me, and I'm pissed. But that's okay, because it's just more pain, more anguish for me. Oh, I taught you. You were my best friend, and all this. Like, Raven would do it so much better because he's just that kind of guy. Like, I would definitely consult on him with any angle that concerns him. I'd be like, dude, this is what I'm thinking, but I need you to do the promo, because he understands the character, and like he'd be able to help me out with writing it and everything. But yeah, like he would have the nuances for what would make this good. But yeah, US title, 4-way. It's Booker T, Scott Hall, Vampiro, Chris Kanyon. Basically, all the guys that he's taken on, and now they're all coming for him. Booker T pins Kanyon because this is a 1-fall finish match. Goes over again. Goldberg versus Bryan Adams. Basically, Goldberg's being screwed. He can't get to the belt, and Bryan Adams just happens to be in his way. He continues on, and yeah, that's really what happens. Number 1 contenders match: Sting versus Randy Savage. Now, for anyone who remembers, this is the pay-per-view where someone showed up. Basically, you know what happens? Same exact thing. Except instead of it being a championship match, it's a number 1 contenders match. And Sid comes in, powerbombs Sting while the referee's down. Randy goes up to the top rope, flying elbow, 1, 2, 3. And you know what? That's like the founding of Team Madness, and yeah. WCW title in a steel cage. Basically, Nash is like pissed. He's like, come on, I've lost twice. But like, again, this is your last opportunity, Nash, for a while, because someone else is going to be anointed. And that's what happened with this. It's like, it's no rematch clause in this. It's the last time. It's steel cage. And it would probably be a good match, because these guys, Nash usually works really well in a steel cage, and so would DDP, I assume. And DDP would go over. This would be probably a climb out, because that way it wouldn't hurt Nash too much more, because I've already hurt him twice. I've had him go down twice. So yeah, yeah. All right, we got time. I can probably go another 10 minutes. Bash at the Beach. Big thing about this, it's the return of Eddie Guerrero. Eddie would come back, and he would be pissed because the LWO is no more. But I like the idea of him going through LWO members, but he would do most of them on like Nitros and Thunders, and he would just be like, fucking hell, man. And one of the guys who would finally come up against for the Cruiserweight title, like, I know Eddie would have like clipped this, but the whole point is Eddie wants payback on Rey, because because of how he was treated, how he treated him with the whole LWO thing. He was like a member, but he didn't want to be a member. It's like, yeah, so Eddie would be like, you know that title you got? I want to take it away from you. Not because I want it, but because you have it. And I know you want it, and I know you covered it, but just because of that, I'm taking it away from you. See, it's not because he wants it. It's because Rey wants it. He wants it. You see, he's like, I want the belt. The only reason, like, I could get that I want that belt. Fine, taking it away from me. And that, yeah, that's what happened to him. Yeah. Television title. Rey goes over there. Ravens rules match. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. For the TV title. And you know what? Bam Bam wins again. He's going over. He's fucking holding on to that belt. Cause yeah. Okay. It's a big match. Now, these guys have held the belts for quite a long time. 4 or 5 months. They're well established now. The tag team champions, Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko. They're going up against some big guys. And my whole thing about it, normally I wouldn't put Malenko in a match like this because it's like, why would you? You know what's going to happen. This guy's going to smash him together. But he puts up a bit of a fight. I wouldn't have him be like just destroyed in like 5 minutes. Like, this is a good 15-20 minute match, and Benoit puts up a hell of a fight as well. Malenko holds his own pretty much against Scott Hall, and I say, look guys, I want you to, like I told Nash that I want you to make these guys look good. I don't want you to smash them. I know, like, you would, but think of this as like Shawn Michaels, and I tell Nash, look, I want you to treat this guy like you did Shawn. I want you to make it look legitimate, like they could have beaten you if the opportunity presented itself. But the outsiders go over. Now, I'd probably have Scott pin Dean in this because I didn't want. I want to do stuff with Benoit later, and Malenko, I'd probably have him go back and win the TV title at some point, or the Cruiserweight belt at some point. Like, the Cruiserweight belt in WCW it's not like the Cruiserweight belt in WWE. It actually still means something, and it's a good way to open your show and everything. US title, Booker T versus Chris Adams. Just because I like the idea of Chris Adams, and I would use him because he's an established guy, and I would do stuff with him. And Booker T would go over. Goldberg versus Curt Hennig. Goldberg wants that world title, and like, I'm just feeding him chum until I can make him go over. And like, I'd make a big deal about this because this was the pay-per-view where Goldberg first showed a little bit of weakness. If you watch the match he had with Curt had him down, and like, there was something about it that made it look like this guy's beatable. So, yeah, stuff would be done here, and Curt would, I'd say, look, go out there and see if you can get me a little bit longer with him than normal. Okay, I would have these guys working house shows and try and figure out a way to make it last a little bit longer, because Curt would be able to do that, I think. And yeah, Goldberg though ultimately goes over. Sid Vicious versus Sting. Basically, Sid cost Sting the belt, and Sting wants payback. Simple. And yes, Sid would be like, "What do you like? It's not personal, man. It was just business. Guy offered me the chance to do this, and he wanted the opportunity." And Sting would be like, "Dude, like, what the hell?" That is not. I don't think there's anything really between us in the past. What the hell? And yeah, Sid goes over. The bad guy wins. DDP versus Randy Savage. Yeah. Randy Savage doesn't come up the winner here because Randy at this time was really starting to slow down, and I don't think putting the belt on him at this point would really help anything. And after the match, DDP's holding the belt up high, and then Hogan comes out and like does the belt symbol, and yeah. Stories developing between pay-per-views. Flair is attacked by the returning Shane Douglas. It is stopped by Benoit, Malenko, and Saturn. But after they get him off, after they get Shane Douglas off him, three of them turn on Flair. Bam, 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 bam. And attack him. And say this is the beginning of a WCW revolution. And thus also the beginning of the revolution. And here we go. Okay. Why is that there? Okay. Yeah, I'll just do this one, guys, and then yeah, then I'll stop. Road Wild. It's August, so yeah. Basically, and the goal of the revolution is to get as many belts as possible. And first one on the chopping block is Dean Malenko, and he wants to take on Rey Mysterio, and Mysterio goes over it yet again. What the hell? Okay, this is weird. I don't know why that one hasn't been marked. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to change that. Somehow or another, I've forgotten to fill in a couple of these. But okay. Here we go. Somehow Horace Hogan has gotten a title shot and against Bam Bam, and well, Bam Bam just eats him up, spits him out. It's that simple. Tag titles. Well, the Outsiders have got the belts. They're taking on the Revolution, which is Chris Benoit and Perry Saturn. Also, Stevie Ray and Vincent, because they couldn't. The plan is shit. For them to get. Sorry, I just cut my lip open. To eventually bring back the Harlem Heat, and Booker T's been like, no, you know what, I'm doing well. I got the US belt here, you know, and I'm doing okay. But they're like, okay, we're gonna go out and get the tag belt, and they managed to get this opportunity. But they fail miserably. The First Family is also involved in this. But Scott ends up pinning Vincent. Well, because, yeah, no one's gotten hurt pinning him. Okay, so... yeah, Booker T taking on Buff Bagwell. He's again the challenger of the month, but Buff's like been poking fun at Booker T, saying, "Yeah, you've been getting lucky, taking on me, blah blah." And Booker's like, fine, you want this? You're gonna face me and Sturgis, and yeah, Booker T goes over. Now we have Ric Flair versus Shane Douglas on a fucking pay-per-view where it fucking belongs. Shane can bring up shitloads on Flair. Bring up any story that he fucking wants to, and this will draw money. And Rick can still look like the babyface because he's like, dude, you're a nobody. I created you. Rick can be like, I created you because you hated me so much. You went down to that bingo hall company and you got over, and now you're here and you're complaining. So like in a like Ric Flair can be like the Joker in the or Batman in the '89 film, and like they created each other. Ric Flair is like, fine, come and get me. I'm top drawer. Goldberg. And yeah, now it's Goldberg versus Sid. Sid's the new guy. He wants to make a name for himself. He says, I'm going to beat Goldberg. I'm going to beat your top guy here. And that's what's going to get me to the big gold belt. He sort of left Randy now because he wants to strike out on his own. And Randy's like, fine, go ahead. But Goldberg managed to get over, but after the match, like he's like, yeah, like it took a lot out of him to beat Sid. But because like I want to establish Sid as a credible threat to Goldberg, you know, and Sid manages to get up. It's like, I'm pissed, and choke slam. And there you go. Hulk's back, and he's pissed because he can't get a title shot because Randy's in his way, and like Lex manages to grab his attention by attacking him during a match, and where he would have gotten that opportunity, like I would have had maybe a match on Nitro, Hulk versus Savage. And Lex comes out, hits him with... I think this was the time he was using that muscle thing. So, yeah, I just have him use that on him, and Gary, that would happen. And, like, I'd develop a friendship between him and Sting. Because Sting's, like, pissed as well because he's not booked on the card, but he's, like... Lex is still his friend. Like, we bring that up. Like, Lex and him are still friends despite everything. And yeah, he's like torn between the two of them. And like during the match, Sting comes out and distracts him, and it kind of looks like an accident. But there's a seed of doubt. Like, is there something going on between him and Lex? But Lex manages to win. He hits him with the forearm or something. I don't think Hulk would want to give up in the torture rack, but if I could do that, that'd be cool. But yeah, because the thing is, I got to make sure Hulk's okay with this. Like, I'll be like, Hulk, you lose this one, but you're gonna win the next one. Diamond Dallas Page versus Randy Savage in a street fight. Here we go again. This is the last one, guys, because I've got some stuff to do on the next card. I thought I had this planned out. So DDP manages to go over in this street fight. I think yeah, that's what happens. So yeah, you know what? He manages to go over in the street fight. Randy's pretty pissed, and yeah, wouldn't you be? All right, and I think I say it's a street fight, but I'd probably make it some sort of gimmick thing because it's Sturgis, which is okay. You know, and I think I'm going to try and see if I could get DDP to have Kimberly out there and like to offset Randy's hot chicks that he had, like 5 or 6 of them at the time. No, it wasn't that many, but it was like compensating for the fact that you lost Elizabeth. Okay. Anyway, this video is 25 minutes long. I think that's a pretty good length to end it here. We'll be back, and it'll be Fall Brawl and War Games, because this is something I would still keep going, because it was Fall Brawl and there was no War Games. But anyway, I'll be doing the War Games. Not sure who's going to be, like, I've got who's going to be a part of it. But we've had a lot happen. Raven's now gone by this point. We got new tag team champions. We got a new world champion. I think we're doing all right. And Bam Bam's still holding on that TV belt. Not sure how much longer. See you guys. Stay tuned for the next Book of Who.